Chapter 21. Spoiler. First Comes Marriage, my not-so-typical American love story, by Huda El-Marashi. In this chapter, we tell you what this book represents to us, how we related to Huda's story, along with our favorite moments and quotes to reflect on. We post every Monday. My name is Haneen. Turn the page.
Welcome to another chapter of Between the Pages. I'm your host Nesma.
And I'm your host Haneen.
And we are here today for the spoiler chapter of First Comes Marriage, my not so typical love story. So, I guess if you know our podcast, the spoiler chapter is literally where we go into the plot, analyze everything, like pick our favorite moments, state our favorite quotes, and yeah, just enjoy the ride.
I'll give you the lead on this since you highlighted some things. I read this, I think, in the winter, in February maybe, so it's hazy for me. But I know the feelings.
I know the emotions.
I know the emotions.
I want to say as well that there was something very personal about this novel, you know?
It's something we don't get in novels.
Never.
This is a book, and it's not a novel. I mean, this
Right.
is something we never get in novels. It's always like a make-believe thing. This thing with memoirs is, these are real people that we're reading about, so it's personal, yes, like you said. It's a new experience for us.
It was very new, and it hit close to heart, even in ways I didn't expect it to, you know. And like I said in the non-spoiler, this book arrived at a very special moment in my life. I felt like I could relate to Huda very much in a lot of like phases throughout her life. Of course, there were some phases where I felt like, nah, I can't really relate to that, like
or I wouldn't really do that, or like
yeah. Some parts were even hard to read, like from the extent of how relatable they were, you know. It even triggered a lot of like emotions and memories in my head that I hadn't really worked through. It was like some moments that were pretty tough to get through, like even with my own like small like engagement party comparison to Huda's engagement party. I felt like there were like very triggering moments where I felt like the party didn't move out the way I imagined it to, you know? And it was the same with Huda. Like there were moments where she felt like, oh, he should have gone on one knee and like given the ring to me and presented it to me like everyone does in the movies and stuff like that. And she was like holding on to that memory all the like through the evening, you know, and right up to the moment it didn't happen. It was so anticlimactic, and she was so disappointed. I felt very self-conscious while I was reading this novel and book. Sorry, my goodness. Potato.
Yeah. What I related most in this book is her expectations at the beginning that came from the culture around her and the movies she watched, and like at that phase we were like each other, and in the way she couldn't explain why, like, this is how things go in her life to her friends. Like there was this chapter, I think, called Muslim Love, I think.
Yes, Muslim Love, yeah.
People can forgive you different food and customs. They can fall in love with your baklawa or ba'lewa ba. And they can respect you for your long school uniform skirts and opaque tights, and for saying your daily prayers as fast as you can in a corner of your cabin during science camp. but saying you couldn't have a boyfriend or that you'd likely marry someone whom you had never gone on a date with made you an alien and made all the girls in your 6th grade class circle around you during recess and ask you why you couldn't just go with John. It wasn't as if he'd be your boyfriend or you had to kiss him or anything. It made the same girls corner you in the restroom at the spring social and ask why you couldn't just dance with Chris. You were making him so sad, and it was really so selfish and mean to keep saying no. It made the guy in the mall who just asked for your number tell you to go back to Kuwait where you came from. It gave me perspective on how life would be outside of my safe, normal society where this is expected of me, and even if I don't follow the exact rules, it's okay, it's fine, nobody would frown, you know? But I always wondered.
I mean, it's terrible to live in a society like that because temptation is always the easiest thing to give into, you know, especially when you're young. And especially when you're surrounded by friends who do exactly those things and tell you they're completely normal, you know? And it's hard to differentiate between what you believe in and like what you should and shouldn't do and what you want to do, you know? Yeah. And I guess it's pretty tough to grow up like that. And you should have a family that backs you up all the time. Like if you have a family that's not really as religious, you know, like some Muslims are religious, but not intensely.
Yeah, my parents included.
So their faith is not really 100% secure in that department. So these, like, it's difficult for these children to grow up in a society like that, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's called my not so typical love story, American love story. So
exactly. You know, the sad thing is, for a while, I felt singled out like her at school because I wouldn't like talk about boys and crush on boys and date boys, you know?
Yeah.
I was different in that realm. It was the thing to do at school, to be dating someone when you're so young to even think about that.
Or not even
think,
date.
Like, yeah.
Just have a crush, you know? Yeah. Like, even if you're not crushing on anyone, that's pretty weird.
No, of course I did crush, but I didn't talk about it with those girls.
I mean, why would you? I mean, those girls, you should never trust those girls.
Yeah.
They're probably going to gossip behind your back or something.
Yeah.
Did you know that Haneen crushes on you know who? It's like, what?
It would be the highlight of their day because I'm weird and I'm quiet and like...
Because you're like the introvert who never speaks and then all of a sudden they hear this like amazing news.
But of course, like what I just read here isn't like that anymore, I guess. Like, no one marries someone who they didn't see before, or I wouldn't say dated before, but just like knew, you know? Like, كده had an idea of who that person is. And even before getting engaged, just كده tested the waters.
Of course,
there chemistry or not. It's not like
there are cases.
That. Yeah.
There are, I mean, arranged marriages are a thing. But I guess in our society, I think we still have the freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And... True, that's something, yani, becoming friends first to test the waters is probably a clever idea before you actually commit to the person. Of course, like, knowing that this is gonna lead somewhere, you know, just not be friends, kida.
Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a no-no, but, you know, people do it anyway.
I want to express this here. For me, growing up, I learned the lesson from our teachers at school in the Quran session. We were in an Islamic school. That you should be this diamond who's like covered and no one has seen or touched until you marry. And you should be this precious person and do what God told you. Anyway. But this is not exactly what stuck with me, but what stuck with me that I should do it the right way, so I'm rewarded for holding on, for like not wasting my heart on anyone or my emotions who isn't going to be my husband, or like this idea, this is the one thing I really want to do right, عشان it's what I read novels for, and it's what like it's what I don't know. But there's no buts. Actually, it was hard, and it, like I said, singled me out, but I still believe in it.
No, of course we should believe in it, especially in our religion. It's stated that it's something that we will receive, inshallah. The thing is about Huda's relationship with Hedi is that it isn't perfect, you know? But they still made it work, you know? And this is what I want to hold on to, you know? Even though it's not perfect, even though they have their issues, they still got married and they still will have their happily ever after. Even though it's not as like cinematic as we think it will be. Like it's not like not all your problems are going to be solved once you get married. No, that's when like the biggest problems will start to rise up.
Yes, because like by the end of the book, she talked about like how no one warned her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
should I get it?
Like how like melding two lives together.
I got it.
I got it too. She said, nobody ever warned me of the gravity of blending two lives together. Nobody ever told me I'd hold another person's sense of self in my hands, that I'd have the power to both build and destroy the life I now shared. And this is the scariest thing ever. Like, to not just be responsible for your mental and emotional well-being, but of your significant others as well. That what you do, the smallest things would affect them either negatively or positively. You don't know, but it's really hard thinking about them in that way, like in being conscious of what you say and what you do and what you wish for, like the weight you put on them with your expectations and what you want.
Yes. And it's so, the one thing that was very tiring about Huda throughout the whole thing was, like you said, the whole expectation thing. All the while through the relationship, all these expectations she had, and she didn't even voice them out, you know? She didn't even talk about them with him, with Hedi.
Like, she didn't even... He did. He wanted something from her, and
so he demanded it.
He said it,
know?
And
but
he
it's
presented
so
it, and yes, it was so scary. But
it's something so uncomfortable, even from my own perspective, to have someone to actively voice out what they need and what they want. It
makes you feel guilty, right? Or she felt guilty. Yeah. I don't know how.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you did something wrong and you should have realized it sooner. But this is the way you are, and this is the way you act, like, normally, but what you do maybe hurts this person, or you don't want to.
Suddenly your actions aren't just about you, it's about them as well.
Yeah, like you're not your own person anymore. You live and breathe for someone else as well, you know.
Yeah,
you become one, basically. And if you don't acknowledge this person's feelings, then of course the relationship will never succeed, you know. This whole romantic thing as well with Hedi, this is something I could personally relate to as well. Whenever he said like something cheesy or something like really romantic, I couldn't, like, Huda and I couldn't help but like really cringe of like all the things that he said, especially when he got the ring. And he said something between the lines of, I can't wait to wear it. Because it like represents me having you the rest of my life.
I remember something like that.
And I'm like, oh my God, please stop talking. Just put on the ring, goddammit, and just shut up. But it was like, I know this is what happens in movies. You know, this is where the girl goes like, oh my God, I love you so much. But you know, in real life, it's like, could you be more cliche? I don't know. Isn't it weird that when it comes to this, we cringe and we feel like this isn't what we want? Because building up all our lives, we watch movies and we read books about all this shit, all of these words and all this crap that we want to have. This is like the idea of what marriage or what a relationship is going to be, but then when we have it,
Yes, exactly.
it doesn't feel natural. It feels like a stereotype. It feels like
A cliche.
yeah, exactly. And then you can't enjoy it because off record we said
that
you said like something between the lines of we already lived through it
and we know it all. I think we
it was something that it doesn't feel special to us anymore. I'm like, okay, what's new?
yes, because we lived it 100 times even more, I guess.
Several times, like, and it doesn't feel so special anymore. It feels like just
Sadly, we took something from ourselves.
we really did. But I don't know, I don't know, for me, a relationship isn't about those moments, you know? It isn't about the romantic stuff. It's about life, you know? It's about
and blending these lives
together and
being just more, you know?
I guess cheesiness and all that romantic stuff is just part of the journey, and it's just something that we have to learn to accept, you know, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even though our instinct is like, no, thank you. No, thank you.
There's something about when, like, I imagine from reading the book, when these things come to real light and real sound.
Yes.
it's anticlimactic. I mean, I don't know.
It definitely is. It has some sort of magic taken away, you know? Like the words have no meaning. Like they mean something, but they mean nothing. Because they've already been said before by someone else. And by someone, I mean like a character in a novel or someone in a movie, you know? And I said before as well, when we had the conversation, I was saying that when I see those movies and read those books, I feel all those emotions that I should feel in reality. You know, I feel like, oh my God, they're so cute. They're so lovely.
So sweet. Oh, my heart. Like, literally, I go like that.
Yeah, did he, like, I'm like, oh my God, did he just say that? Yes. He's such a perfect boyfriend.
And like the most little, like, say, for example, in P.S. I Still Love You, when he let her drive, I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
And then
so adorable.
Say, for example, where in Pride and Prejudice, when he just helped Elizabeth into the carriage and his hand went like flexing, that he couldn't like the feeling.
Like
and
he wanted to touch her again. Yes. And it's like the touch of having her, it was so subtle and fast. You know? And she even like looked back and was like, wait, did that just happen?
Yes, or did I just feel that? And you feel that from just watching this, reading about it.
You feel it so like intensely. And I think part of it is because it's fiction, you know? Like TV directors, producers, and editors make it look perfect, make it look timeless. On the spot, everything is perfect, everything is rehearsed, and like it's amazing, you know? And when you have it in real life, it's so mediocre and so
mundane,
so blurted out and just plain cheesy.
She even like said something along these lines when she wanted like the profession of love to be like those in the movies. Oh God, because I love you, or like, you know, those blurted out of She mentioned something like that, and I
I'm like, yeah, that's kind of
that's kind of good. How did Hedy tell her he loves her when they became together? He was so quiet. Like he frustrated me so much.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you're going to marry, just tell her. You know, he waited till they were engaged.
You know, I just remembered something. I loved the comparison between their prom and when they got married and they had a wedding or something.
Yeah, they did have a wedding.
And no, I mean they visited someone else's wedding. They were the guests.
Maybe, I don't remember.
Anyway, there was an evening where there was dancing, okay, when they were a couple, married couple. Yeah. And Hedy wasn't up for dancing, okay? But Huda wasn't either, you know? She was like, she went on the dance floor
the end.
And she felt like, this isn't so great after all. I'll just go back to my husband and sit next to him, you know?
Yes, I remember that. Now that you said
I loved that. Oh my God. I was so relieved in that moment. Like, in comparison to their prom, where she was like, oh my God, why doesn't he want to dance with me?
Yeah.
Like, what is he? He's so lame, you know?
Yeah.
And like later on when they got married, they had that moment. I was like, wait, why don't you want to dance? Hedy acts as like, don't you want to dance? That's a song. Don't you want to dance? Don't you want to dance? Something like that. Wow. Sorry, completely out of context. So Hoda was like, no, I'd rather sit here next to you or something like that.
Oh, I know. How did I forget that?
I know, right? I just remembered, like, literally right now. So that moment was beautiful.
She saw his out there on the dance floor. She saw his perspective on the thing.
Yes. And she saw his worth, you know, having him in her life.
And the value of what he believes in, you know? No, this is actually more valuable, not like displaying yourself out there. You know?
Exactly. Yeah, except on her wedding day. On her wedding day, she wanted to dance all night long.
She was still young.
Oh, yeah.
Do we ever grow up?
No, most probably. I think the moment we grow up is when we have children. Why? I think because we always aspire to be role models. We always think like, no, I can't act that way because if I act that way, this is gonna imprint on my child. You want to list some quotes? Kida?
There were so many relatable and insightful quotes in this book, so I'm glad you highlighted them.
I think this is also a thought that maybe a lot of girls have. I'm not sure. I mean, if you don't, alhamdulillah, thank God for you to have the security. Were these memories good enough for the only love story I'd ever have? What if I rushed into committing myself to Hedy and I could have had everything I wanted with someone else? You know, and I think this is what the book is trying to tell you. You know, I think what she's trying to tell you is that even if you could have had something better with someone else, God led you to this person. You should make it work. And if it doesn't work, then this is what's supposed to be. But
the funny thing is, from the perspective of a single, they think, who would that person be? You know, and they want to just meet that person.
Exactly.
They aren't there yet to think of, what if it's not him?
What if it's not him? Yeah, they don't
it's
have...
It's more about, what if we meet and we don't know? Or what if we miss it?
What if we exactly. What if we miss it? What if we already met him and I don't know?
Yeah, exactly. and then I read this and I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to end. It's not just about meeting the person or being with them. You're even going to doubt that. My God.
Look. This was even in P.S. I Love You. No, sorry, the second part. P.S. I
Still Love You.
Still Love You? Yeah. To all the boys I've loved before, P.S. I Still Love You. She said, in some part of the movie, I know them inside out already. I've watched them 100 times. They're my top favorite movies right now. And I can't get enough. So she says something of... I thought when I was going to be with Peter, the prospect of being with somebody else would go away, you know? But it didn't, you know? And she thought that...
Josh Ambrose McLaren.
Yes. That he was maybe the one she was supposed to be with. You know, actually, if you think about it, her and John Ambrose. Sorry, John Ambrose actually clicked a lot better. To be honest, they would have been a way better match. But she was just in love with Peter, you know. And this is what I'm saying. Even if there is someone better out there for you, it doesn't matter. Like when you have someone, it doesn't matter anymore if there's someone better out there for you. You know, it's just like. It's not about that anymore. If you have someone, then you should make it work, you know?
Yes. And Peter tries all the time to make it work. He does these little
things.
Cute things.
Yeah. I guess.
That is out of character for him. But he does it.
And something as well that I felt with Huda is when I finished the novel, I felt like her life could have been so much easier if she had just let go.
Yeah, let go of those expectations and idols and just went with the flow.
Exactly, but our characteristics and our personality doesn't work well with going with the flow because we're so perfectionistic and
we want to know, we want everything to be organized and planned out. So
we know what's coming, so we can prepare ourselves
and even take control of it.
Yes, so even. I mean, for the hell of it, I'm someone who plans their own birthday, so
me too.
I rarely like surprises. I always need to know what's coming because I like things my way. You know, I know what I like, and I want to make other people around me happy. You know, and it's so weird that I don't like anyone else taking control because it makes me freak out.
Even if they know you so well.
Yeah, even if they know me very well, because I know if I gave them a chance, they would probably surprise me and actually really make me happy. But the fear of the possibility that it might not make me happy
and you would have to act happy or something.
Yeah. Scares me. Yeah, it does. So it is something of Huda being so caught up in all these expectations, and which is kind of ironic because even on the title she says my not so typical American love story, but she still holds on to those American
love stories
characteristics.
And there is no love story in there. It's not typical.
It's not like falling in, love at first sight kind of thing.
And it's a disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. And you would feel there is no end to the string of disappointment, but...
There wasn't actually.
There wasn't.
Right up to the end.
Yeah. Until she actually understood that she's the one making herself disappointed.
Exactly, by all these expectations. Yeah. She said something, I would want Hedy to make me love the things about
that I wouldn't know to love yet, I think.
Something like that. Okay. And we thought it is ridiculous to ask someone to wish of such a responsibility of someone. It's not their job to make them love you. You know, it's just something that comes from your side. You have to see who they are and just accept them for that, you know?
Yeah.
And be fully immersed in their life, I guess. And to be invested.
Yeah.
This sounds like a business transaction. It kind of is.
It kind of is. It's a partnership in a way.
It is. Yeah, exactly. That's how we're supposed to look at it, you know? Not as a love story, but as a partnership, you know? Love comes later. Like you said, the unconditional love when you get married. خلاص, this is your husband, and of course you love this person. And maybe not in the movie, head over heels kind of way, but... duty? I don't want to say duty. This sounds too...
You know, I'm going to go back robotic. To movies, but movies that are a little bit realistic. There was
what's it called?
What?
That series. Those 3 movies.
Before Sunset and Before Sunrise and Before Midnight?
Yeah. Or do you think they're still too romantic?
No, still too romantic, I think. Or maybe not. But those as well. But so the one I was going for was... About time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with a guy gorgeous. Who could go back in time to fix things, and it was a thing in his family from the men's side, and he decided he would use it to find true love.
Yeah.
But when he actually did, he stopped doing it. He wanted to live the real moments, the moments where, their child did something terrible to his mom's work, and it was his responsibility to watch that child, and his wife is shouting at him, and he wanted to redo this memory, but he couldn't because his wife was like, "You're not getting out of my sight." And he started holding on to those moments because it's what, like, it's life, you know? It's not just all like happy mornings and perfect moments. It's the bad ones as well.
It's like hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard work, people.
Like, there are things that were shocking to me, or like, no, I don't want this to be reality, you know?
Yeah.
Especially the part where she went to Mexico with Hadi and she felt كده at a standstill. This is something horrible.
Aslan, the idea of living in a country where you don't speak the language is very terrifying. This is the cringe part. You know what makes it so nice? Hadi whispered. What it symbolizes. That I get to spend the rest of my life with you. I smiled, again, suppressing the urge to groan. After all this time, waiting to hear someone say romantic things to me, I hated the way those loving words sounded coming from Hadi's mouth. So cloying, so confident, when I was filled with so much doubt. This is relatable a little on the personal level.
Yeah.
A lot of the things that were in this novel are so personally relatable to me that some of them I don't want to share them here on the podcast. You know, it's like,
I know.
It's like too personal. I can't really talk about that just openly like that. But I really hope that you guys like give this book a chance and see where it takes you. And probably, like, if you're listening to the spoiler, you probably already read it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
If you haven't, then go ahead. And then we've probably spoiled a lot for you already.
Yeah, but there are a lot of things that we didn't touch on. Like, I'm flicking through the book and there are things I don't know if we should talk about. But I feel like this book should... you should reread it at different phases in your life and get perspective, I guess. The fact that it didn't get better for them, I had to check up on them on like maybe articles or something to make sure that they were actually
still married
and like good. They had something good. Like, I don't know.
What did you read?
That they moved to New York after Mexico. He did his, what's it called? You would know that from Grey's Anatomy. Something in the hospital.
Ah, yes. Rabbi, Stani. Residency.
Yes, he did his residency in New York.
Yeah.
And I think she had actually gotten pregnant by then. And there was He?
Did you just say she got him pregnant?
No, I mean she got pregnant by then. Yeah. I said that.
I heard it differently, sorry.
Yeah. And I guess there was something about the birth, her not being with her mom. I don't remember exactly. But she actually in the article said something that like things did get better and more stable and they understood each other better.
Yeah.
And things stabilized. They just needed stability, I think.
I mean, that's quite natural, actually, you know, for a relationship. And this is what I personally expect as well. Like, you can't expect a relationship to be perfect from the beginning. And it's unnatural to ask that to be so, you know. And it's quite a lot of pressure naturally without even asking for anything in the like first years of a relationship. But she really portrayed it amazingly, you know, to every little detail, maybe even too many details, especially their wedding night. Did not need to know all those details.
True. And their trials of conceiving a baby. But the fact that it didn't get better by the end of the book, regardless of the article, it's like justification for, or not justification, it's I guess I can't find the word exactly, but what I want is it's in parallel with this theme of the expectation and disappointment. You know, it's this is life. Like they said on the cover, it's humanizing. You know,
exactly.
We're not stars acting in a movie. It's real life, and
it should be relatable. You know, it's something that just reflects real life.
And when I continued reading other novels after this book, I didn't try to make them fit in the picture of real life. You know, I think I matured from that perspective of like not expecting them to be real in a way. After that, of course, I still wish they could be real.
Yeah.
But I learned my lesson, you know? But regardless of how bad, how it kept getting worse, I would go through it because it's life.
It's part of life.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want to avoid that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you don't avoid something just because there are going to be difficult moments, you know? There are going to be beautiful moments as well along with it. So
you just have to remember that. Like, sometimes we know, but we don't, like, act on it, you know? Anyway, we're so tired right now. I guess we should sign off.
Yeah. We've been recording for a while. Binge recording, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
So, we hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you haven't read First Comes Marriage, go ahead and do it. If you have read it, follow us on our social media and just let us know what you thought about the book. You know, we would love to hear your opinions, whether or not you liked it or not liked it. Could you relate to it as much as we could? And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode.
Chapter 20.
We'll see you in the next chapter.
See you.
Bye. Thank you for making it to the end of this chapter. That was such a lovely and down-to-earth episode to record, and we hope you enjoyed it. Until next time, where we bring you another non-spoiler chapter about a new book suggestion. Anticipate new episodes every Monday. My name is Nesma. Mark the page for chapter 22.